ever. My good friend Colt Straub. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing good. This is kind of a spur of the moment thing here.
It is.
As we were on one of our breaks, and I kind of pulled out my phone and I looked at Facebook, and I saw my friend Colt Straub say, "I went running this morning through the landing." I'm like, the landing? There's not a landing in Oklahoma City. And then I realized he was here. And I said, "Dude, you got to stop by." So,
absolutely. I'm so happy to be here.
So those of you that have lived here a while, you've heard the name Straub around town for years. A lot of you know Colt's mom, Sammy Johnson, now was Sammy Straub for many years, sang with the Presleys for a lot of years, right?
Yeah, for I think 11 years.
A lot of years. And then Mandy Stauffer now is Colt's sister, and she sings at Woodland Hills Church quite a bit. She was in some shows throughout her life. She did 50s at the Hop, I think.
Yeah, she did quite a few shows up until about 10 years ago when she started. All the kids started coming, the family and everything like that.
But Colt, in his own right, now also, let's go ahead and talk about just real quick, we'll talk about your dad too.
Okay.
Right? A lot of you know the name David Straub from a lot of years here in town. He was an entertainer. Ozark Mountain Jubilee?
Ozark Mountain Opry.
Ozark Mountain Opry. A lot of years he did that, but a lot of you know him as the volunteer fireman who sacrificed his life to save some rappellers over on Baird Mountain.
Absolutely. We actually just celebrated, I believe it was, what was it? I don't know how many years it was, but they just named a road after him.
Yeah, Heroes Way.
March, Heroes Way, and that was a huge honor to come and be a part of that. But yeah, he gave his life in 1990, so it's just
and I'll never forget that. But now Colt is, man, again, like I said, one of my best friends, but he's one of the best musicians that I know. He's so brilliant in everything he does. He's a writer, producer, an arranger. He does everything. Worship leader at his home church we'll get into. But he also was in a lot of shows here in town. Stuck on the 70s, Pierce Arrow, Denny Urie and Sheryl Renee show.
Yep.
What a Brett's.
The Brett family show. I was with them for a long time.
What am I leaving out here?
Let's see here. Lost in the 50s.
Lost in the 50s, yeah.
I was like kind of a sub at a lot of these different shows. Legends in concert a few times. And so I've just been all over the place.
Yeah.
If there was a decade show, I was probably a part of it.
And then for how many years you were with Grand Ole Gospel Hour?
Almost 18 years.
That's crazy. A lot of you remember that. They had quite a few different homes. The Brashler, I guess it's the Hamner Theater now, was the Brashler Theater then. Clay Cooper's Theater, where it is now, when it was Legends.
Yeah.
We were there for quite a bit. Pepsi Legends Theater, Grand Palace, a lot of those places.
Yeah.
But now you are the worship leader of a church in Oklahoma City.
Absolutely. It's a church called Cornerstone Church. It's there in Midwest City, just east of Oklahoma City. And we've been there. Actually, this last Sunday celebrates 10 years that we've been gone, which is crazy because I grew up in Branson. Love Branson, of course, but when I was 30 years old, I just had this opportunity. And now we've been there for 10 years and kind of close enough to call ourselves Oklahomans. But I still come to Branson, and this is still my hometown. Every time I come back, I love everything about it.
Yeah.
How's it been since you've been in town?
I moved to Oklahoma City 10 years ago.
Right. When's the last time you visited? Do you come back pretty often?
Yeah. Like
you were here a couple months ago, right?
I was here a couple months ago. My uncle wasn't visiting from Atlanta.
Okay.
And so we just kind of came in for about a day and a half. The last time I was here for any significant amount of time, other than my dad's memorial in March, was October. We come in, for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Like that.
So what are some of the biggest changes that you've seen to the area? Obviously, you grew up here around this area, so you've been able to watch. But whenever you leave for a significant amount of time and then come back to visit, there's always something new. There's always something interesting. So now that you've been gone for a decade pretty much and you've come back here and there, what's one of the craziest trends that you've seen?
Well, it's been so interesting to see Branson now from an outsider's perspective, because it's easy to look within the bubble that you live in and you hear the same sounding boards from everybody. But from the outside perspective, I've definitely seen that Branson's become more of a young family destination.
Right.
And for the good, bad, whatever you say, I mean, whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, now families have more opportunity to do activities. There's a lot more things that you want to do. I was here, of course, in the show business boom.
Yeah.
When I was in Branson, I was working 3 shows a day, 6 days a week, doing my thing for a decade, for my entire 20s. I absolutely loved it. But you could definitely tell kind of a downward trend. And again, I'm not saying whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, but now having a young family, I can tell you there's tons of stuff for a family to do when they're in town. And, we still go see 2 or 3 shows while we're here. But we can also stay busy doing other things as well. And I think that's been a great thing for the community. I love driving down the strip and just seeing all the new interesting things. Fritz's Adventure.
Yeah.
And, you know, all the, you know, I forget what it's called, the upside down building.
Wonderworks.
Wonderworks. Things like that, like, and the aquarium.
Yeah.
The old Grand Palace.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
We played the Grand Palace for years, and now it's like this amazing aquarium.
Isn't that awesome? Yeah.
It's pretty cool just to see all the new changes. And
We're getting ready to play some music from Ovation Worship, right? Which is the name of your is the name of your worship band?
Yes, it's our worship team at the church. Like I said, I've been at Cornerstone. It's led by Pastor Ron and Carol McKee.
Okay.
And you can find out more information at cornerstone.tv. And it's just an amazing church. We've got about 1,000 people strong there in the Oklahoma City area. And if you're ever in there, we'd love to have you check it out. About 5 years ago, we started releasing original music under the name Ovation Worship. And you can find out more information at ovationworship.com.
So tell me about the song we're going to play. Your Stone Rolled Away.
This is a song that I wrote in 2019. It's literally kind of the perfect song to play at Easter. It talks about the resurrection of Christ and just the power of God.
Who's singing on this?
Me.
You. Awesome. So here it is, Stone Rolled Away, written, recorded, produced, and performed by my good buddy Colt Straub and Ovation Worship on the Clay Cooper Experience.
Body was broken, your blood was spilled, as your love was poured out upon that hill. Bandaged and buried, you were descent, but this fateful darkness was not your hand. Too heavy, my ransom great, but you would not leave me to my own fate. The Father in mercy would look away, so as you would suffer my debt, you'd pay. As the storm rolled away, my future was sealed. As the storm rolled away, your promise revealed. As the storm rolled away, the hope of eternity came alive in me that day. As the storm rolled away, as the storm rolled away. Darkness cannot contain what perfect love would revive. An empty tomb now remains, proclaiming Christ is alive. The darkness cannot contain what perfect love would revive. An empty tomb now remains, proclaiming Christ is alive. The darkness cannot contain what perfect love would revive. An empty tomb now remains, proclaiming Christ is alive. So on the run from His pain and kiss me on that goodbye, because He's mighty to save. In Jesus I am alive.
Back here on the Clay Cooper Experience, and that was Ovation Worship, Stone Rolled Away. Colt, that was awesome, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's always cool when we get to play a tune that was written and recorded and all that by the dude that just happens to be here in studio, completely accidentally.
Exactly.
By the way, Kevin just happened to see that Colt was in town, and hey, why don't you come on? And here we are, ladies and
It's
gentlemen.
so funny because this morning I got up, like I said, I wanted to go run around the landing. I've been working out a lot lately, and I wanted to take advantage of that. So I went there, got coffee, went back to the house, and just laid down, got your text, and was like, okay, I guess I'm going to go hang out.
Awesome.
So much fun.
So not only is Colt one of my best friends, but him and his sister Mandy and I were roommates for 2 years. We lived in Hollister on Mystic Avenue in Hollister. We had what we called the Mystic Mansion.
Yes, we
and man, I'll tell you what, it was a great place. A lot of our friends from church, that college age, career age kids would come over. We just hang out and did such a really good time. But I'm going to tell a really quick story on Colt really quick. That was awesome. Colt, back then my schedule's kind of changed now. I was always up much later than I was working in restaurants. You know, we had bars that I'd have to stay and close until they were at the end and things like that. And so I wouldn't get in bed until, 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, whereas Colt would be getting up early to do morning shows and things like that. And he was always practicing. He was always playing stuff. And, man, one morning I'm in bed, and it's early. I don't know what time it is, but it's probably around 7:30.
Oh, it was much earlier than that.
Oh, what? I don't even remember.
Like 6 a.m.
But anyways, all of a sudden I just hear this piano just rocking, just going. And I walk out to the living room, and I stumble out there, and I just look at Colt, and he looks at me, and he goes, "Hey, buddy, what's going on? What are you doing up so early?" And I go, music's kind of loud. Meanwhile, now he has headphones on. And he goes, "Huh? I have my headphones on." I go, "Yeah." He goes to pick up the headphones, and the jack's not plugged in. So he's just playing.
It's coming through the amplifier.
He's like, "I thought it sounded weird." And I go, "Yep."
Maybe a little short on the wire here. Maybe
but it sounded great.
Do you remember what it was? Was it Ozzy? Or,
no,
I was prepping for Stuck on the 70s.
Yeah,
the
so
70s show. I was subbing.
It very possibly could have been your Billy Joel, Piano Man.
It probably was.
Or Elton John. I know you did Honky Cat, right?
And Honky Cat and Crocodile Rock.
Yeah.
Nice.
And but I'll tell you what, man, it was we hardly ever had a dull moment over there. It was so awesome. I will say this. It wasn't myself or Colt, but another member of the house tried to microwave a bagel, and that bagel caught on fire. And
is that a health? Is that a concern?
When it catches on fire, when you cook that bagel in the microwave, and it wasn't me or it wasn't Colt, I won't name the person who it was.
Yeah, but she's listening.
Is she?
That's a hint. I don't know. I'm guessing so.
But I'll tell you what, man, we had such a good time. That's all of us during that period of time. I don't want to say found our spouses because I guess Colt found his spouse then, but the rest of us knew our spouses before we moved in together. But that's where we all kind of got together. I moved out first. I got married, moved out first. Mandy shortly after, and then Colt shortly after that. And excuse me, very definitive times in our lives. And it's you have those friendships where you can go months without seeing them. You come back and you pick up right where you left off, and it's always so good. It's less like a friendship and more like family still.
100%.
And I love it, and I love you guys, and it's so awesome. So glad you guys are here and being able to come in today.
Thank you so much. We love you guys too.
I want to thank you both for coming in and hanging out with me today.
Yes, boy. Anytime.
Absolutely.
It's not as fun when I'm in here by myself.
No, son.
So
you show right.
So it's fun to have you guys coming in. I really appreciate it. Clay, Colt, anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Well, of course, you mentioned my wife, Casey's watching. My mom's obviously Sammy Johnson's listening right now. All the family, anybody who's listening from Cornerstone Church.
How about your kids? Give them a shout out.
Taylor, Ashlyn, Emma, and Jaden.
Yeah.
They are awesome. They're getting too big too quickly.
Isn't that crazy?
But I love them to death. So.
I just said this to Josh yesterday. The days are long, but the years are short.
That's so true.